My name is Sarah Cook, and for my History 512 landmark project, I chose to research about Rainey Street. First, I did a Wikipedia deep dive. Here it is. Rainey Street is well known currently for its bustling nightlife, places to eat, bars, and more. But what if I told you that it used to be a place specifically for housing? Rainey Street was first developed into a neighborhood by two men named Jesse Driscoll and Frank Rainey. Those last names sound familiar? Good, because Jesse Driscoll not only helped develop what Rainey Street has become today, but was also in charge of building the Driscoll Hotel. While on the topic of Jesse, I looked into his background, and building a hotel isn't cheap. So apparently, his expenses were covered by being a successful cattle baron and selling these cattle to the Confederate Army? This makes you wonder, what was Frank Rainey up to? Well, after doing some research, I found that he studied medicine during the Civil War, got married to Huldah Merriweather, all good and fun, and soon after enlisted to be a private in a company associated with the Confederate Army. Driscoll and Rainey first started building in 1884 between Colorado River and Water Street, which is now known as Cesar Chavez. Most of the neighborhood was populated by white middle-class citizens. It makes you wonder if they contributed to redlining at all. However, diversity started making a comeback in the early 20th century. After researching the past, I wanted to see what's up with Rainey Street today. Any hot controversy? After taking a look at some of the newer buildings, bars, and places to eat, I found something that piqued my interest. A bar called Unbarleavable was under fire for racist remarks and discrimination in 2017. Apparently, the bar owner, Brandon Cash, would fight back against negative reviews by leaving disgraceful responses. One of these included a 1-star review left by someone complaining about a bad margarita, as they should, and in response, Mr. Cash said the guest had a towel on his head, so he mistook him for a busboy, and then proceeded to call his date a prostitute? In conclusion, whenever we walk around our neighborhood or in the bustling city, history surrounds us all the time. This is just a little peek into what happened in the makings of what Rainey Street is today. After my wiki deep dive, I decided to dive deeper, so here's a timeline. Rainey Street's timeline starts in 1884 when Driscoll and Rainey built Rainey Street. During this time in America, Cleveland won the presidency, the Statue of Liberty was being built, and more. In 1935, a flood wiped out most homes built in Rainey. The Dust Bowl was occurring during this time as well. In 1985, activists wanted to preserve Rainey Street Place in the NRHP. During this time, Ronald Reagan began his second term and Back to the Future came out. In 2004, Rainey Street was rezoned to Austin's business district and became more than a neighborhood. During this time, George W. Bush was reelected and gay marriage was banned. In 2012 is when Bangers turned into a bar. During this time, Obama was reelected and gay marriage was legalized. In 2017 is when all the Unbelievable controversy started. During this time, Trump was inaugurated and Confederate monuments were taken down. In 2023, currently, we are facing concerns because over 12 victims were found in Lady Bird Lake. There is high suspicion these deaths are due to drug attacks. During this year, things have happened such as AI advancements, OceanGate's submarine expedition to see the Titanic imploded, Trump got his mugshot taken, and so much more. After my wiki deep dive and timeline video, my mom and I took a trip down there ourselves to get a feel of the place. I first noticed a big white building with a sign reading Mexican American Cultural Center. I hopped out of the car to check it out, but it was closed for construction. But online, I found that the center is a multi-million-dollar project with a youth education wing that serves as a place where underrepresented artists can display their work. Next, we walked through the lively part of Rainey, and to be honest, it was pretty dead. But check this out. Clive is a bar that opened in 2009. Staggerly's, featuring the raunchy skeleton lady, was built in 2019. Eisenhower's was originally a home all the way back in 1895 and only recently in 2009 was formed into a bar. I just realized the majority of places in Rainey Street are bars. Maybe that's why there weren't as many people here at noon. A few days later, my mom and I hopped in the car again to head down to Rainey Street. Our expectations were pretty low, but this time, there was a ton of people. This time we experienced a behind-the-scenes look at all the places I researched before. It felt different walking into these places knowing more about their history, rather than just walking in blindly. I was humbled when realizing my true height in front of the Staggerly's measuring wall. Additionally, when my mom continued to obliterate me in cornhole, and she wanted me to let you guys know she got all of them in. Next, we walked to Bangers and were kindly greeted by a Sigma named Albert. He shook our hands, offering us a full tour of the place, plus an email including all the history behind the makings of Bangers. He showed us his meat freezers in the basement, where they kept pickles. This was because the owner, Ben, had an English bulldog named Pickles who passed away, and he kept this place as a tribute to her. They kept literal pickles in there, though, not the dog pickles. Aww. After Albert's kindness in sharing us the history of Bangers, my mom and I walked out feeling enlightened and accomplished. But when we were walking to the car, I turned left and I saw it. Until next time, Unbelievable. Until next time.